What's going on, everybody? This is Seth Ford here, and today or tonight I am back with another college football prediction video, and this time I'm going to be talking about my favorite team, the UNC Tar Heels, versus the TCU Horned Frogs. This will be a very interesting matchup. I know I always say that with every game, but this is probably the first time I've ever done a matchup prediction with these two schools. I think I've done a prediction with UNC, which is my favorite team, but not this matchup in a long time. So these two teams have actually played in the past. But when we talk about TCU versus UNC, it's going to be on Monday night in Kenan Stadium, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Time, September 1st of 2025, which is going to be very interesting because it's a Monday night game for college football. Don't know if I like that, but a night game at Kenan Stadium is always electric. I've been to one of those games. It's been fun. It was fun to be there. So, as of further ado, let's go ahead and go to the slideshow. And if you want to skip to the end to see the prediction, I'll put the timestamp in the section below of this video, so you guys can go see it yourself. And let's go ahead and go to the next slide here. All right, so last season record, UNC. It was not fun to watch as a fan because last year was kind of a down year. Drake May went to the draft, but we did have a Martin Hampton last year. Jacoby Criswell did a good job to fill in, though we lost some games due to the UNC's defense being atrocious last year. A lot of new faces this year, a new head coach, so I'm very interested to see how they'll do this year. So they went 6-7 last year, 3-5, 12th in the ACC, lost in the Fenway Bowl. That was a joke of a game. I just cut it off in the second half. It was just so bad. They lost 27-14 against UConn. TCU, they had actually a great season this year. 9-4, 6-3, 6 in the Big 12, 1 in the New Mexico Bowl versus Louisiana, 34-3. So they pretty much dominated that game. Louisiana's not bad at all for a Sun Belt team when it comes to that particular conference. All right, last meeting. These two teams played back in 1997 when UNC won 31-10. So hey, maybe they'll translate to this year when the UNC plays them at home. So UNC leads in all-time series 3-0, which is never knew that at all. But they played back in the 90s and I think the 80s as well. So there you guys have for the last time both of these two teams met. And then the location, like I said earlier in the video, Kenan Stadium, which is a great venue to go to, especially if you're a UNC fan too. It's always electric at nighttime when it's a night game. It's always fun to go. I know a lot of people always joke about UNC and their fan base. It is what it is, but they'll pack the house when they'll pack the house. So they'll definitely pack the house because of Bill Belichick is the new head coach. All right, so with coaches comparison, it's kind of funny in a way because as a NFL football fan, a Carolina Panthers fan, I despise Bill Belichick as many others probably did because he always won in a weird way with the Patriots. Not trying to say I'm a conspiracy theorist or something like that, but I dislike Tom Brady, dislike Bill Belichick, but now I'm over that, and it's funny. Honestly did not really want UNC to hire Bill Belichick, but hey, if he wins, he wins, and I'll take any wins as a UNC fan because last year was just atrocious if you watch the team. But so his first season as a head coach, let's see how it does in the college world. First opportunity as a college head coach, but he is 8-time Super Bowl winner, so got to give him credit what the credit is due because he is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Sonny Dykes has done a great job at TCU from SMU. 3 years, 27-13, had a fantastic year last year as well, coming back from a 5-7 year previous year. So there you guys have it with the coaches comparison for this slide. Next, we have the strength of schedule. As you guys can see, UNC strength of record was 86 in the nation. Not great. Strength of schedule, not great either. They won against Minnesota. That game is wild. Came down to like the last second or so when UNC kicked the field goal to win. And then, of course, Max Johnson got hurt. And that game was just wild just to watch. And then they beat Charlotte. That was a slow game, but they ended up winning in the second half. NCCU, they pretty much beat NCCU pretty good, 45-10. And then this is where it all started to collapse after this game. I know they won some games here and there, but James Madison, they lost 70-50. I couldn't watch this game, but I was just shocked as a fan for UNC, and it was just an abysmal. This whole game was just a shell shock for me, and just as a fan, it was just not great. So, and of course, they lost to Duke. They had a 22-0 lead in halftime. Thought they were going to beat Duke, but they didn't. 21-0 or 21-20. Lost to Pitt, 34-24. Georgia Tech, they could have won that game. Lost 41-34, but then they came back, beat Virginia 41-21. Had a little winning streak going. Beat Florida State 35-11. Wake Forest 31-24. Boston College, they lost 41-21. And of course, they always lose to NC State for some reason, 35-30. And of course, the last game, which is not great, 27-14. Of course, the record 6-7. So now we go to TCU. They had a lot of games that were very close. It seems like almost every game for TCU. Their strength of record was 35th in the nation. Their strength of schedule was 68th in the nation as well. They beat Stanford one score lead, 34-27. Beat Long Island University 45-0, but then lost to UCF 35-34. Lost to SMU, which that was a crazy game. Looks like it, 66-42. Beat Kansas by 11 points, 38-27. Lost to Houston. That was a weird game. 30-19. Barely beat Utah, 13-7. They beat Texas Tech 35-34. So a lot of games could have gone the opponent's way, but somehow TCU came back and won the majority of these games. They lost to Baylor 37-34. Beat Oklahoma State 38-13. Beat Arizona 49-28. Beat Cincinnati 20-13. And of course, they beat Louisiana in the bowl game 34-3. So a lot of games could have gone the opponent's way. So they could have had a losing season. But hey, they won 9 wins and 4 losses. So that's a good season, especially in the Big 12 as well. All right, so the players drafted and signed. We got how many players drafted this class? UNC only had one player, which is one of my favorite running backs last year, Omari Hampton. That dude was a stud. He was a beast. First round, 22nd pick to the Chargers. So he's going to a good team with Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, Lyle McConkey, and all those guys. Now Keenan Allen as well. So he's in a great place for an NFL team. That dude was a beast, and it was just tough to get tackled by. He was just a monster in the running backfield. So yeah, undrafted free agents. I was really shocked with Power Echols not being drafted, but offensive lineman Willie Lampkin to the Rams, tight end Bryson Nesbitt. He was not bad at either. To the Vikings, Elijah Huzzy, defensive back to the Texans, linebacker, like I said, Power Echols to the Bears, and then tight end John Copenhaver to the Jaguars, and the wide receiver J.J. Jones to the Jaguars, and Nate McCollum to the Giants. So there you guys have for the UNC's drafted players and signed players in the undrafted free agency. And then we got TCU. Oops, I forgot to put the title, but you guys get the point. They had 2 players drafted. Wide receiver Jack Beck, first round 26th pick to the Raiders. Wide receiver Savion Williams, third round to 23rd pick to the Packers. Undrafted free agents, 3 players signed, which is wide receiver J.P. Richardson to the Bears. A long snapper Brent Matisic to the Browns, and we got defensive back Lamarion James to the Browns. So this was crazy. Mac Brown got let go last year, resigned as well. The transfer portal, a lot of losses for UNC last year for defense or key players that were actually good on defense. So total players, 50 total players transferred out of UNC, which is crazy. Never thought that would happen in a million years. And the one that really shocked me the most was Bo Atkinson to Ohio State. Also, linebacker Amir Campbell, who's really good too, to Penn State. And defensive lineman Terry, I'm just going to say Terry N.E. I can't pronounce that last name. I don't want to just destroy it. To Vanderbilt. Wide receiver Gavin Blackwell, who was also pretty good on offense last year, considering we didn't really have a good offense last year. So he went to Florida State. And, of course, quarterback Jacoby Criswell, who, funny thing, he transferred out the first time because of Drake May, but then came back, which he was a good filler-in quarterback for UNC. All right, so transfer news for TCU. They had 20 players transfer out, not back compared to UNC. Safety Colin Collier to Old Dominion. Linebacker Keelan Salter. Quarterback Haas Hingy, I think that's how I pronounce his name, to Oklahoma State. Offensive lineman James Brockermeyer to Miami. And we got safety Richard Tony Jr. to Purdue. So only 20 players for TCU transfer out. Then there's a revamp for UNC. 41 players transferred in. Some key players that I think are going to be very, very good for UNC. We got defensive lineman DeAndre Robinson, I was actually shocked that he transferred from Florida to UNC. Tight end Connor Cox from South Carolina. Wide receiver Dayton Sneed from Tennessee. Then we got quarterback Gio Lopez from South Alabama. Then we got safety Peyton Waters from Washington. Then we got TCU, only 12 players transferring in. We got wide receiver Jordan Dyer, who could be wide receiver 1, had 1,000 yards for Idaho. Tight end Kamor Ryun Pimpton from LSU. Linebacker Michael Teason from Missouri State. We got safety Ryan Yates from Cal. Wide receiver Joseph Manjack IV from Houston. So there you guys have it for the transfer portal news for TCU. All right, so like I've done before for the previous videos, we got top 3 offensive players. So we got top 3 defensive players. So like quarterback, running back, wide receiver. We got defensive lineman, linebacker, and defensive back, which is like cornerback, safety, free safety. You get the point with the defensive back type category. All right, so for now, I think it's going to be Gio Lopez, not Max Johnson. I know that Max Johnson is coming back for his final year after an injury, but I think Gio Lopez is the starter for this year. OurLads.com had him as the key starter. I think he's going to be the guy. So from last year, from the Sun Belt, he has 206 completions to 312 attempts with 66.0 completion percentage, 2,559 passing yards, average about 8.2 per pass, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So not bad at all for a transfer quarterback coming in for UNC. Running back Davion Goss. This dude was actually a beast too. For a backup for Amari Hampton, he was also like a power running back. He's like an elusive bruiser, if you want to say it, like in dynasty mode for college football 26. This dude is going to be a good running back, so I'm excited for him to play as a starter this year with 67 carries, 326 rushing yards, averaged about 4.9 per carry, had 4 touchdowns last year. Wide receiver Kobe Payshort, he actually did really well last year too, despite that not having a good offense. So with him coming back too is a key plus for UNC. For Gio Lopez, so he had 21 receptions, 365 receiving yards, averaged about 17.4 per catch. And of course, their offense is a tempo spread for this upcoming season, and he had 0 touchdowns for last year's season. All right, so we got a lot of players coming back for TCU. We got Josh Hoover. He had 313 completions to 471 attempts. He had 66.5 completion percentage, had 3,949 passing yards, averaged about 8.4 per throw, had 27 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Then we got running back Trent Battle. Had 44 carries. Oops, I misspelled that too. 186 rushing yards, averaged about 4.2 per carry. Had 2 touchdowns as well. Then we got wide receiver Eric McAllister. McAllister with 39 receptions, 762 receiving yards, averaged about 19.5 per reception, and he had 5 touchdowns last year. And of course, their offense is a air raid offense. All right, so for defense, a lot of transfers on defense. So we got transfer from ECU, CJ Mims, who leads the total tackles on the defensive spreadsheet for this upcoming season. He had 23 total tackles, 4 solo, 4.0 tackles for loss, and only had 1 forced fumble for UNC or for ECU. And we got linebacker who's also transferred. I was actually shocked that UNC got this guy because he was supposedly a hot commodity in the transfer portal this past season. So linebacker Andrew Simpson from Boise State, 46 total tackles, 29 solo, 11 tackles for loss. That's actually really good. 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. So that is a key player that UNC needs, especially for defense, because we all know how UNC is on defense. So defensive back Caleb Koss, who's back with the team, had 63 total tackles, 45 solo, 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 4 pass deflections. So that's really good for UNC, especially for the secondary, because that is one of their weaknesses from the past 2-3 years. All right, so total top 3 defensive players for TCU. We got Davion Deal. We got 46 total tackles, 29 solo, 9.5 tackles for loss. Pretty good. 5.5 sacks. Pretty good. 3 quarterback hits and 1 pass deflection. Then we got linebacker Namdi Obiasor. Probably not pronouncing that name right. 81 total tackles, 41 solo, 6.5 total or TFLs or tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 2 QB hits, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, and 1 pass deflection. He did a lot last year too. With also defensive back Jamil Johnson with 73 total tackles, 44 solo, 2.0 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 3 pass deflections. And their defense is also 4.25 defense. Forgot to mention with that for UNC. And so yeah, they have a lot of guys coming back on the defensive side for TCU. So we'll see about that. All right, so UNC's offense. Woo! Talk about a wild season last year. They ranked 72 in the nation last year. Not great on offense. Only averaged about 224.4 for passing yards. Rushing yards, they were pretty good because Amari Hampton pretty much carried that whole team last year with Goss as well. 182.3 rushing per game, which was ranked 38th in the league. Points for, honestly, was kind of crazy. They're 30.9 points per game, which tied 45th in the nation. And then, of course, the defense, 28.1 points allowed per game, ranked 89th in the league. Not great at all. Total offensive yards, which is 406.7 yards on offense. Defense, they allowed 375.8. That's I guess that's the stats. Passing yards, not great. Allowed 226.3. Rushing yards allowed 149.5. So not great, not too great in the secondary game last year. All right, so for TCU, for their total team stats, they were pretty good on offense. They were ranked 8th in the nation, which is 312.9. Rushing yards, not so great. They're ranked 113th in the nation with 113.9, that's kind of funny. They're pretty good on offense, 33.6, 28th in the nation. Defense, not so great. They had like every game was almost like a one-score lead to 3 points to like 7 points. So, still 24.6 is not bad, but I mean, every game it looked like they were back, or they were just like every game was like a one-score lead, and they could have gone the other opponent's way. So total yards in offense, they had 426.8 yards in offense. Defense, they allowed 345.6, so not too great. Passing yards allowed, still, I mean, honestly, not too bad, 185.2. Rushing yards allowed, though, they allowed almost 160.5, so that was not great. So it looked like they had a bad running defense, but still, in the Big 12, it's always going to be high up-tempo games, no matter what. They always get like a bad rep for that, but it is what it is for the Big 12. TCU still had a good offense and not so bad defense if they won 9 games last year. All right, so as a UNC Tar Heels fan, and I don't hate TCU either, so this game I think is going to be a toss-up in my opinion, but I still think that potentially TCU might be the better team here with all their guys returning, with the same head coach returning, some players in the transfer portal. I don't really know how well Bill Belichick will do, but you can't count out Bill Belichick. And yes, he's not in the NFL anymore. He's in college, totally different just world. But hey, you still can't count out Bill Belichick. But the safe bet, I think, for right now is that TCU is going to win by -5 points. I know as a UNC fan, it hurts to say that, but I think that TCU has the better team on paper. But it's a night game at UNC. Anything can happen, in my opinion. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. More college football prediction videos on the way. Go Heels. I hope we beat TCU this year. That'll be fun to watch. Be electric on Monday night. So, yeah, go Heels. And step forward here. Y'all have a great rest of the night. Peace out.